quick tip when doing any kind of metal work. First thing you want to do is determine how far out the dent goes, where you have highs and lows, things like that. But especially if it's on a body line, what you want to do is you want to grind right on that body line, and so that way when you're pulling your dent, you can see all of your highs and crowns start to flatten out a little bit, and then you can start to work your metal. So right now I'm going to show you how I would work this. An important thing to remember, guys, it says it very clearly on the label when you take this out of the box, to keep these tips sharp or to a dull point. That way when you go to weld, you don't have so much contact on the panel, causing more burn through, and you obviously don't want to press with this either. You want to keep it just on the very edge of it. Go ahead and hit your button. Okay, so obviously this is for demonstration purposes only. On a fender like this, if I could get to the backside like I can here, I would push this out as much as I can, and with a hammer and dolly work these spots. But let's say this is on a door, for example. I don't have one to show you guys right now, so I'm using this fender. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set this in my deepest area of my dent, weld on, get leverage to pull. And there you go, just like that. I've made a majority of the pull in one motion. So the next thing I would do is I would again find my lows, find my highs, and continue to work those with the hammer. If I need to, clean those areas up, weld on again, and start tapping down. Here's the tip I use just to get the wiggle wire to set on your panel a little better before you go ahead and put it on something. If it's a curved dent, go ahead and just flex it a little bit, get it to bend, and just test fit it, see where it is, and make sure it's going to touch your deepest point of your dent. That way you don't have to press against it. A lot of you guys were talking about how you had some issues with the wiggle wire sticking, and I think the biggest issue is making sure this is really clean. But I'm going to show you right now. This is how I put the wiggle wire on, and I make it stick by pre-fitting it, making sure it's touching in every area I need it to touch, and then going from there, deepest point to the highest point. So for the purposes of leverage and the fact that I'm only doing this as a demo, I'm just going to show you guys this claw here with all the extra fingers. You can get creative with whatever you need to do. You can get a pogo stick, you can get the frame rack, you can get whatever your heart desires and you can think of. But again, get a hold of it, pulls nice, move to the next one. Pulls nice. Same thing again. Pulls nice. Okay, let's go over some of the things that come with your MAXI dent and some of the accessories you can add to it. Start off first with your stud pin welder. Basic thing, same thing you use to weld on studs, but just with the MAXI dent. Shrinking tip. Welding rods, you get 2 of these long ones. You get a small weighted slide hammer for this one. 2 different types of claws, a hand puller claw, as well as something a little stouter, a little longer. The cool thing about these things is they can move, so if your dent is in more on the inside or outside, you can pull and it'll pull evenly. You get 2 sets of wiggle wire, thin and thick, 2 short welding rods with the leverage bar.